What's up, guys? Margiela here, and welcome to the show. Mary, welcome to CUADERNO, guys. I'm with a very sweet guest today.
Hello,
So,
guys.
actually, siya yung nag-suggest ng topic, and I'm so excited because this topic is also close to my heart. We're gonna talk about self-love, but wait, before we start, Mary, introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, guys. Di ko pala napalitan yung name ko. Nakikita ba yan? My friend say ni Tulas Pinas. Shucks, okay. I'm a live streamer now for more than a year. That's how I met Gina, actually. And I'm a content creator as well on TikTok, where I teach multimedia arts, since that is a course I graduated in. And I like to advocate for different causes like the importance of mental health, body positivity, and taking care of our environment. That's
Di ba, guys? Whew! hindi, hindi ko na alam kung saan tayo magsisimula. I'm pretty sure we're gonna learn a lot today. Okay. So our first question, I'm very curious because I usually ask people what they're comfortable with talking. Siyempre, I want people to share what they're comfortable with. The topic, I'm curious, what made you choose the topic self-love, and why do you think it's close to your heart? Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, if I was to really say why I chose the topic of self-love, it's because I got out of a 6-year relationship recently this year, last March. And ever since I was out of that relationship, I entered a new one pretty quickly. And ever since that ended, like I've learned to love myself more and not really depend on anybody else, because we don't really have to look for that love from anybody else but ourselves. So ayun, I've been learning more about it so much recently than I have in the past years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely these years, like 20 something and all throughout life, you learn more about yourself and to the choices you make. And I was leading to on the second question, actually, I was gonna ask, describe your journey or story of self-love. Yeah, how would you define it at first, pala? How would you
How would I
define?
define self-love? Mm, First and foremost would be acceptance. Because you can't really love yourself without accepting who you are. And that entails accepting your flaws, accepting your past, accepting the things, your insecurities, basically, the things you feel like you need to compare to anybody else. You have to accept that you don't need to compare any of your qualities to anybody else, because who you are is enough. You should always believe that you are more than enough, because we are all different people, right? So you can't really say that my journey is the same as yours. So accepting what you've been through or what you want to achieve is already enough, because you don't need to say that their journey is more important than mine, or who they are is more important, because you just have to accept basically what you I mean, nawala yung train of thought ko, but like, you just have to accept yourself talaga and what you believe in and your capabilities, basically. And the next would be gratitude. Self-love also means gratitude. Like, gratitude for the things you have. And that means looking at looking at your surroundings, the air we breathe in, the people you're with, the people who love you, your body who sustains you, your body that will heal your wounds for you, your body that is capable of so much things. You can walk, you can go, you can think. You have, alam mo yun, feeding yourself good thoughts will always make you a better, like, see life better. Yung gratitude for everything, appreciation for everything is like important in self-love talaga. Ayun. So
Mm-hmm.
like those are the two things that are important for self-love for
That you
me.
see are connected to self-love as well.
Yes.
Yeah. It's I think in a way it's also being mindful of what you have, and that's beautiful. It's appreciating the gift na binigay sa'yo. And um how about your journey? self-love? Are you still in that process? Or I think it's a process every
It's
single
a
day.
that
It's never ending,
yeah,
right?
definitely a process. I mean, you see, wait, it's definitely a process. Like, it's never ending. Self love. There will be days where you will always like feel like you can compare yourself to somebody else. Like, oh, is this person doing better than me? Is or, like, am I not doing enough? Um, it's always gonna be there, the doubt and everything. But it for me, the journey where I started was how I needed to be there for myself. And it started this year. No, actually, it started when I was pretty young. Maybe when I was still in high school. But I never realized that I was giving myself that love since I didn't really get to depend on that with my parents, I guess. I didn't really depend on the love they gave to me. So I would always be there for myself. I was my number one supporter. I was my number one friend. Even
Mm-hmm.
if my friends were going through something else, they would be struggling, and I was struggling. I would prioritize them, and then at the end of the day, I would be there for myself, even if like I couldn't really open up to anybody else about what I was going through, whatever problems I dealt with. I needed to be strong for myself throughout years and years that I like since like yeah since high school and until now. If it's not related to my familial love, it's now related to relationship kind of love. I don't need that anymore. I just need myself. I just need to love myself. I don't need that validation from another person. I don't need to look for that from somebody else other than myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess I'll share my journey of self love. It was hard. Like as a kid, I was like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. But when I changed schools, different environment, different people, you get, as like I think 9 years old, I was bullied by the principal for some reason, and then
What did they do? Like, what did she say or
it's
he
like,
say?
because I think my parents were wanting me to transfer back to my old school, so she's finding ways to probably derail me from
Mm,
that. So what happened,
yeah.
like as a young kid, you absorb everything, right? So
Yeah.
whatever that adult tell you, you believe. Those are lies. So one thing I learned from my journey is that you gotta find your truth, the truth, and not believe in the lie. So she basically said things to me that are hurtful. I can't remember them anymore, but I would get compared to my cousin who also goes to the same school, and that's an adult, right? Like it's so weird, but like it's so weird. But yeah, I got bullied by the principal, and then I went back to my old school, and I thought I had friends. Grade 4, I thought I had friends, but every time I'm because you know how there's rankings, right? Top one,
Yeah.
top two. If I'm up there, she's not my friend. So she would do things that are really hurtful. That you say something in the back, physically bully you.
Mm.
Um,
Oh no.
yeah. So and then like she would do a bunch of things that are really like, oh, that's why, like, oh, do I really can trust people, like, kind of
Mm-mm.
like that. So it went for probably 3 years of that, because competition,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
competition.
That
There
must have been hard, like to be
Yeah.
bullied by your own principal and by your cousins for what, 3 years? Dang.
Yeah. Well, my cousin wasn't the one bullying me, but when I transferred to the school, my friends,
Your
to
friends.
my old school, my friends bullied me whenever I
Mm.
reached the top. So
Oh
ayun. So
shoot. Yeah.
yeah, so it was so hard because like all my self-esteem is all down now. So I struggled with this for probably 12 years. So when I came back here, like it's another adjustment because new environment, you're 14 years old, you don't have much friends. I always look down on the floor. I can't speak to anyone. I was too
Oh.
shy. I was so shocked with the culture, and also it's in my family. my it was my first time living with my dad, like for a long time. So because he only goes here in the Philippines, he only goes home once a week. So I don't know him as well. So that one I had to adjust. And there are times when people are stressed, when you're new to a new place, and they're all stressed. Like I became a shock
Oh no.
absorber
So
of
like
my
you kept
dad.
observing everything that was going on and like
Yeah. Yeah. So my dad, whenever he had like let's say stressed out, before he would like say a bunch of stuff that it's really hurtful. So that really built up, and it came to the point na alam mo yun, there's this temptation to take my own life.
oh no. But
Yes.
like I know what that
Yes. So
where you feel like giving up
I
basically.
felt like giving up, especially when I failed, because I put my value on, grades and achieving this and that. So that's where I got my self-esteem, like thinking that that's where I got it from.
That's how you
Um,
validated
yes,
yourself
yes. It might
basically.
not be from a person, but from the grades or achievements.
Your
So
achievement.
when I failed, repeating the course in nursing, I was like, it felt like the end of the world, and the pressure, a pressure to do in school, and knowing that we're not really financially stable. That really got to me. That tempted me to really, like, I had to fight every single day, the demons every single day, to overcome that. And I had to go to therapy, and it's a blessing in disguise. That failure is a blessing in disguise for me to heal. So I went through CBT, so cognitive behavioral therapy, and it changed the way I am. And ako na si Miss Positivity ng Canada ngayon.
Great. Oh,
Oo.
yeah.
And I really
Nice
had to
hearing.
work for it. Mhm. You know the
What was
feeling? Yes,
okay?
you have a
Well, I was
question?
about to ask you what was therapy like for you.
Oh, I had to go every week. And then I had to do these exercises apart from that sessions. So I had to write on my journal, and all my thoughts are there. Actually, my old journal's there, and I challenged those negative thoughts. And that's when I realized na, oh, these are lies. We have these automatic thoughts that just go into our head, and you know what? It doesn't make sense sometimes. So I think that's it. But I think the main reason why I got healed is because I began to see myself as God sees me. Because I didn't know I was unconditionally loved. You cannot rely, getting love from other people, because humans, were imperfect. But like reminding myself and accepting His love unconditionally, like it's there, that healed me. But it took time. It
At the
really
time.
took time.
How long did it take?
I think so. Ever since 9 years old, right? Probably 12 years, I think.
12 years.
But
That's a
it
long journey of self love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still ongoing, but it all starts with a decision. Because I told myself one day, nah, I'm so tired of this. I'm tired of
This
sabotaging myself.
Yeah, self-loathing. Self-loathing is like, of course, the opposite of self-love, right?
Yes.
You are the one that can change yourself, your mindset, your what you value. If you don't value yourself, then you can't really say that you love yourself, right? You should value um your thoughts. So the things you think about like yourself, you can't say that I'm not good enough. You always have to say that I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm gonna go for this because that's what you want because you can't like think you can't do it basically because you should be your number one supporter. It's like you're sabotaging yourself from things you want to actually go for, right? So I don't know, self-loathing is like the thing that's gonna stop you from
Yeah.
everything.
You're your own enemy and your
Yes.
own friend.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
Right? It's so
No,
it's
so
so I don't
stressful.
know. But it all starts with a decision. But it's something that you have to commit to. It's an everyday decision. Just like love, giving love to other people. It's all starting with a decision. So ayun. It does take time, and you have to really put the work into it as well. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so heavy. It's so heavy.
Yeah. Aw.
Such a
Oh,
heavy topic.
it is.
Uh, yeah.
Because it's not every day like people disclose this. And but I'm, you know what, like I'm like, okay, I have to reveal a part of me to be vulnerable so that other people can heal, diba? So to
But
know that you're
on
not alone. Hmm?
your I just wanted to compliment your bravery, and like you're still here. You know, you know how people will always think that I can't handle this pain, and they're gonna feel they're gonna be stuck. Basically, you're gonna be stuck in that mindset that things are never going to change. And like your story is like enough to know that it changes. Your thoughts can change. It's a decision. It's basically a very important decision that you will stop thinking this way, right? You will stop all these negative thoughts pouring into your mind. You're a living example that things do get better. You can change. Your mindset can change. And I'm just so proud. I'm just happy that,
Thank
we got to
you.
meet Miss Positivity. I'm so
Thank you.
happy
I'm
that
getting
you're
goosebumps.
here.
Thank you. Oh, that means a lot. But yes, it is possible to change, and it is a journey. So, Mary, I'm just gonna go through this next part of our podcast. So, I imagine you're looking at a mirror, okay, and then I gonna put a sticky note. Like, I know you defined this self love, kanina. Like, can you give us though an example of self love that you do to yourself? So you look at the mirror and you see this word. What do you do for yourself? An example.
When I see the word self love,
Mm-hmm.
um, what do I do for myself? I rest. Honestly, I rest. If there's anything more true, it's that we're all caught up with things like we feel like the world is moving so fast, or um, it's really difficult to keep up sometimes. Like everybody's doing this, you could see it, especially that we're in a pandemic. We're stuck at home. We see what everyone's doing. We see their stories. We see they're having fun. We see,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes, especially me, and I'm an only child. I'm alone. My parents are barely home ever since. And my other relatives are so far away. My friends are so far away. I only have myself, and the way I kept myself busy was always doing something. I joined a lot of organizations. I joined a lot of internships. I never took a break. Every day I had to be doing something so that I can't stay stuck at home. And once I ever since this pandemic, once I realized that um, I feel like I'm not here to compete. I'm not here to be available all the time. I took a break. Ever since I've been doing that, it's just made life more easy. Ever since I got to just be alone with myself and just see, like, I am enjoying my own company, just not doing anything to feel like I owe anything to the world, you know? Just
Mm-hmm.
be there for myself. That is self love for me. Taking a break from everybody's expectations, what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna add to that that self love does encourage self discovery. It's
Yeah.
good because it I like you having your me time. And you get to know you get to know yourself, and which
But,
puts you in a position that if there's halimbawa like a challenge or something, you know where to set your boundaries because your values would be clear because you know who you are, and that's
mm-mm.
a good foundation into to let's say decision making, or like finding out, let's say if you reflect you find out your strengths, and you're able to, the thing with self-love is you'll be able to believe in yourself, you know, because you're able to recognize that um you're you're able, when you get to know yourself, you know your strengths and stuff, you're able to do these things, and it's good to recharge and rest. I totally agree with that. um the
Ikaw ba?
next.
Like, I
Hmm.
wanna know din ikaw, syempre.
Wise.
If
What?
you
What?
if you see yeah, that one, this the same question. If you see the word self-love, how would you like?
Self-love.
Yeah, what do
Mm-hmm.
you think? How do you do that for yourself as well?
For myself, it's like half and half. I The thing with self-love, I had the wrong notion before that it's selfish, but it's actually not. I used to put myself down. I didn't want to love myself because it's not humble.
Mm-mm.
It's thinking of
Same. Oh
yourself.
my gosh, same, super same. Kasi
'Di ba?
I always have to be thinking about other people. And like, alam mo yun, what am I doing for myself? You know, like there's a saying na, give the same love you give to others to yourself. And it changed my
Mm,
life. Diba?
right?
Like like, only a handful naman, like,
Yeah.
are willing talaga to give a lot of love for other people, but they don't give that to themselves. And they end up self-loathing. They end up feeling so sorry for themselves. Alam mo yun?
Mhm. I'm gonna get to that part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pero, pero yes, like I thought it was selfish, but it's actually not. Being selfish is different than self-love. So if I see the word self-love, it's actually a balance of taking care of myself and taking care of others. The reason why I wanted to change my where I was at before is because I want to love people more. I cannot give what I don't have, right? You cannot give what you don't have. So I was like, if I can't help myself, how can I help other people?
Sobrang relate. Hala, na-stress ako. It's like, sobrang relate talaga, Gila. As in, I
Diba?
get where you're coming. Know your intentions. And that's a very, very pure and wholesome intention talaga to have that amount of love for other people. Grabe.
Hmm.
That-
But it's just finding the balance because you run out. You do run out. You're not bottomless. You run out. So it's so important that I agree, to be able to rest and to be able to be aware.
I'm
It takes
emotional
skill.
today. Ala, baka magkaano na. Wala, na-stress ako. I keep like going back to all those times that I thought it was so selfish to give myself love. Lolo, I feel so emotional today.
Let's
I mean, I was
disclose
watching
here.
a movie. Sabi ko, hello.
Oh, oh, it's okay. It's okay to cry. Pero 'di ba? Like, so you're not alone in that, guys. If you're watching, you're not alone in this. So ayun, yun yung sa akin sa self-love. May iba ka pa bang question, girl? O
Wala
yun.
na, wala
Na
na.
yun. Ayun. So the next one, I think, siguro parang na-touch up na rin natin yung selfish eh. So,
Mm-mm.
siguro isi-skip ko na to. Parang opposite siya ng self-love. How about this word? Self-compassion.
Self-compassion. Mm. I keep thinking about, yun nga, it's kind of similar. It's the opposite actually pala of self-doubt. Kasi you need to validate the things you can do, or like, ano doubting yourself. It's like, you don't, you don't care enough for your achievements, your capabilities. You know, the mere fact that you're still here despite all the hardships you went through, despite every problem or every mistake you tried to correct. Alam mo yun, it's like, you doubt yourself if you're good enough, and you need to be more compassionate na that's enough. Alam mo yun. You need to think that actually it's very similar to self-love, no?
I
Being
think it's a branch.
self-compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a branch talaga. I think when I think about being compassionate to yourself, it's caring more for yourself. So, yun nga, you don't doubt na you're good enough, you don't doubt then na ano, um don't doubt why you're living. You care that what you think matters, what you feel matters, what you're doing matters.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
compassion for me.
It is a branch. I think it's like being kind and caring. And I think compared to this word, which I think is the opposite. So you said self-doubt then. So this
Yeah,
one's
so that.
self-pity. I had this.
Self-pity.
I had this before too.
Yeah.
This is actually the opposite. So this one, I feel like for me, you're kind to yourself. It's an action, being proactive ka. Pero ito, like you think you're compassionate to yourself, but you're just focusing on yourself actually. Like egocentric, 'di ba?
Mm-mm,
'Di ba?
egocentric.
Mm. Like for me here, I'll start first, then I'll ask you. Parang I felt powerless. Like I had the feeling I was beating myself too much. I was like, oh, I can't do this. Kawawa naman ako. Hindi ko kaya talaga to. And I was comparing myself to other people. And naawa ko sa sarili ko kasi, ano ba yun, wala akong kakayanan. Hindi ko kaya talaga. Parang
Oh, parang
feeling ko
self-talk.
talunan. Mm.
Ah.
Oo, yun. So, ayun, parang mas lalo akong sensitive actually sa criticism noon. Ngayon, okay, may masabi sila, okay, wala akong
Diba?
pake.
I mean, like, what you think of yourself matters more nga talaga than what other
Mm-mm.
people think.
Mm-mm.
Once you have that mindset, everything else changes.
Mm-mm. Parang
Diba?
ikaw kasi nagbibigay ng weight sa you
Sa mga
allow.
words ng ibang tao.
Oh, yes, yes, exactly. So, nasa sayo, hindi lang alam ng mga tao na they are powerful na, okay, I have this decision to let these words affect me or not affect me. Yeah. How about you, Mary, for self-pity? Have you experienced this?
Have I ever self-pitied? I'm
Parang
trying. I think I'm blocking those thoughts that I'm like trying to, kasi alam mo how I deal with things. I tend to like put them in a box. Like I try not to think about it, and then I think about it for another day and don't open that box once I have
mm-hmm,
a problem. So like if I ever had self-pity, it's probably before talaga when I was like ano, I felt alone. I felt helpless. I felt like no one was gonna hear me screaming internally. I felt like I didn't matter. Like if I was gone, diba? Like if I was gone in this world, the world would still go on. Hello, ang ano pala ng topic na to. Parang yun. Parang I felt na the universe is like so freaking big. And I'm just what, a speck, diba? So, ayan, all the time na I would think na hindi naman important tong pinagdadaanan ko. There's always other things. There's much more things to worry about. Alam mo yun. My pity comes from how I think my problems matter. I feel like they don't matter. I feel like wag ko na lang problemahin, or ano naman, there's maging okay din naman. And ayun, I think that's how pitiful I was from ano, sa pinagdadaanan ko na I didn't think I mattered
mm-hmm.
for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, it's definitely very, very difficult na parang feeling of worthlessness din for me, I guess. From what is it, feeling of worthlessness, you think,
Yeah.
from what I hear you're saying? Yeah, it's part of what I went through as well. Very hard. Grabe.
Ang bigat no! Ang bigat.
Hindi ko alam kung saan ako pupunta. Pero, yeah, I
Mm.
think, looking back, nun sa big hump ko, uh, if I made that decision not to push forward, I wouldn't be where I am now, 'diba? So you never know what happens in the end. Just have to keep going. Like even celebrate every single victory you have for choosing to wake up each morning. I remember myself dati dragging to clinicals. Like really, like I have to force myself to take a bath.
Mm.
To take a
Like
bath, wake
like
up.
you wanna stay there and
Yeah.
not do anything for the day, no?
Yeah, you have to you had to fight it. But you have to celebrate as well yung mga victories na yun na, oh, I chose to show up and that's what matters,
Yes.
'di ba? Yeah, 'di ba? Yung mga little things. So,
Legit though. Oo. Like just being, yun nga, waking up, wanting to do something. You celebrate that. Be happy that you're looking forward to do something. Alam mo yun, there are people na that think na, I have to do this and that. be thankful you have something to do, alam mo yun. You have
Yeah.
goals. You want to live this life.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I remember saying this to myself one morning na, oh, I chose to live every day because I know what it feels like when you're close to the brink of death. I was like, I would really want to live my life to the full. So yeah, sabi ko, starting what happened before, sabi ko, yeah, you only live once talaga. So make the most out of it. You value every day talaga. No? So next word natin, self-care. Parang,
Self-care.
parang super lalapit nila eh. Pero
Okay lang
self-care,
naman.
may difference
Self
ba, girl?
Probably the little things lang. Like, the things you love. Find your interests, find what makes you want to live, and do it. Alam mo yun? Do more of what you care about. Do more of you want to, what makes you happy. If like, sleeping makes you happy, if like playing games make you happy, if don't think about what other people are saying. If people don't like what you're doing, then find the people that like what you're doing as well, and then be with them. Alam mo yun?
Mm-mm.
Self-care is like enjoying the things you like doing.
Yes. It's more of the activities, I feel like, no? And find your interest. I agree. And then this one, I think we said we talked about this one, self-sabotage. Do you want
Self-sabotage.
to talk about this more? I think we
I
covered
think
this
we
on
talked
today.
about, yeah, we covered
Ah,
this.
okay, I think we're good now. Okay, so since we're done that, what do you think is the most common barrier to self-love? Or yung pinaka barrier sa self-love?
Yung pinaka-barrier to self-love,
Mahirap,
alam
no?
mo, I was, I, alam mo, the only thing I'm thinking about is yourself talaga.
Mm.
You are
Mm.
your own, di ba we said it din kanina, you're your
Mm-mm.
own enemy, talaga. If you think negative thoughts, you will feed yourself negative thoughts. You will live those life. You will live that life na puro negative lang yung nangyayari. Kasi that's how you look at life eh. You think of it as like a dark place. You think na nothing's gonna change. You think na um, everything's bad. That's happening in your life is bad. And everything na nangyayari ngayon, it's all that there is. Walang magbabago. You're stuck. You don't do anything about it. Or if you can't do anything about it, you're not, you think it's not gonna get better. You just keep thinking that that's all you're ever gonna have. Alam mo yun. You don't strive for it. Don't strive to alam mo yun, change something about yourself. And ikaw talaga, you are the one who's going to change how you look at self-love. Like how, you change your life, basically.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that's something na hindi ko naisip. I was thinking of like comparison, of pride, seeking for validation. But you know what? You are the ultimate source of that. If you let that happen to you, I super agree. I remember when I asked questions in Instagram, they were like, "Oh, when I was this girl, she's like, I graduated 5 years ago. Sobrang na-down ako kasi most of my batchmate nagko-work na agad." So I think from her is coming from a place of insecurity and comparison. Um, then what am I gonna say? I think you mentioned before yung comparison, 'di ba now in this day, um, it's so difficult kasi you always see the highlight reels of people eh. But ultimately, yes, ikaw din. Actually, I had problems with that dati. Yung comparison. Parang, yung best friend ko, buti pa siya, may ganyan, may
Mm,
ganyan.
buti pa siya. Yun na lang lagi, no?
Oo.
Buti pa siya. It's like, look at yourself. Look at how you're doing, diba? Just
Mm-mm.
given your circumstance, given the factors you're dealing with, given your past, given your connections, there's so much to consider before you actually think about comparing yourself. So once you do compare yourself, look at naman everything you're going through then and like validate and consider how far you've come talaga, I swear.
Mm-mm. Yung focus mo, isi-shift mo sa kung anong meron ka talaga. But also, you know what, like, if you see them in a different light, na parang, oh, inspiration imbes na inggit. Parang,
Exactly.
right?
True.
Di
True.
ba? Like,
So
wow,
true.
ang galing naman niya. And you celebrate. Like, it makes a difference for you to celebrate with them. Na, wow, if
Mm-mm.
it's your friend. Parang, ako rin someday, I know I will. Like, di ba? It's up to you to make that decision ulit na, okay, I make this as an inspiration. Na aspire to be like her or him. Ayun. There's actually a question here. I didn't get to put it in the right probably topic, pero how do you get to love yourself when you're bombarded with responsibilities?
How do you get to love yourself when
Mm-mm.
you're bombarded with responsibilities? That's like a question I would love to ask myself when I was still I had like yun nga, I was dealing with my boyfriend, I was dealing with yung orgs, I was dealing with internships. I was love to ask that to myself. But if I was to put myself in that same situation, it's like what I answered kanina talaga. Alam mo, it might be impossible, pero try to give yourself a break. I swear. It changes talaga just me time. Kasi you're always out there. You're always thinking of how to please other people, how to live your day for other people, diba? But, doing something for yourself, just making that time to make yourself happy instead of doing, living out those responsibilities. Like, if you give yourself time to just do what you want, or like alam mo yun, just not think about other people and what you have to do, changes talaga a lot, you know. That's how you give yourself self-love, taking a break talaga.
Mm. Okay, I think that's about it for everything. Unless you have something else to ask me or have anything.
Ano, Gila, I want your story. It's like something that I know I'm inspired about, and I would want to ask you, if there was somebody who feels like they can't bring themselves to self love because they have so much self doubt. They have so much to compare. They feel like there's a lot of comparison. Like parang ang daming factors that they can't bring themselves to get to that point of self love. What would be like the steps to get there? Kasi knowing na ikaw, you've been working on this for a long time na, and as young as you can remember, there has to be like um a process you did to get to that point. And I just would want to know if like anybody could be struggling with something like that.
Mhm.
What did you do?
Like I said before, it was I think it's just drawing inspiration from the people around me. There was one day that I saw this. I think it's mostly regarding my faith. A renewed faith. I saw this person, Bo Sanchez. I was like, oh, this guy talks differently. He just speaks differently, and I want to be like him. And you had that hunger to serve other people. But I think that started it all. It was that hunger to go out of where I am. I felt like I was stuck in a rut, and it's just over and over again. I just got so tired of it. It's so draining, and I just want to live a fulfilled life. And I was like, I want to live. I want to be like him. But most of all, I was seeking, like, I was trying to seek wisdom, but you know what? Like, I was seeking love pala, his love. So I think ultimately it was my faith that changed me. And it was his grace, through his grace, that I got healed, even though I don't get the process. Like, it was up and down. It's not predictable. I think it's really coming down your knees and just letting the change and saying yes to what you're called for. I remember this quote na, um, he doesn't call the equipped, but he equips the called. So you just have to say yes to that calling. But it just takes action, discipline, never give up. it's a process, and celebrate all the small wins because it will take you so far. It really does. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, last question.
Sige.
What's the most important thing you've realized in your journey of self-love?
What's the most important thing? Hmm. That's a hard question. There's a lot of things. But
Oh,
let me think.
everything.
Let's see.
Elaborate na lang.
Let's
Like,
see.
a list na lang.
That you have a relationship with yourself. I think I failed to recognize that na ano, I have a relationship with myself pala, that I'm not aware that I'm talking to myself in this way. That you have to take care of what, because you can be your own friend. That you talk to yourself, you don't realize it.
Umiyak ako. Same though.
You don't realize it,
Mm-mm.
that you're talking to yourself in a way that really distracts you. You know, that to the point that you can't do anything anymore and it just affects everything. So be kind to yourself. Be a friend to yourself and be aware of what you're telling yourself, because what you feed your mind becomes your emotions, and what your emotions are is what you do. So, right?
True. Very true. 100,000%.
So take care of your relationship with yourself and be a friend to yourself just as you are a friend to other people. Because you are so worth it. You are loved. Unconditionally loved. Diba? Anything? You're good?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. Do you have
Sorry.
anything to plug? Kala mo dami kong
Plug.
followers. Followers,
Hindi,
pero
ano ka ba?
go,
Of
go.
course, I'm so happy to, honestly thankful that you invited me to this. Kasi even if like there's just one person listening, Gina, what if that one person needed to hear this today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if there's anything I wanted to plug, it would probably be my Instagram. Follow my Instagram kasi I'm very active on, it's at Mary Franceri, and on KUMU kasi that's where I met Gila,
Yes.
guys. At Mary Franceri as well if you want to talk about anything.
Yes. Thank you,
Ayun.
Mary. I appreciate you. You can come back anytime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Love, love. Thank you, Mary.
Um,
Bye.